Hey everybody, social media family, being of any subscribers, and as well as any visitors to that being of my own personal channel and or chat room or comment section. How's everybody doing? Well, hopefully everybody is doing at least okay. If not, better yet to be said to be feeling all right, or if not, best of all to be said to be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly become or be stressed. You and yours, your family, friends, and hopefully me and mine likewise as well, all the same. Never thought. And regardless of whatsoever or whatever any of us could possibly be going through as of the present given moment in time and wherever and or likewise whenever in the world, such as we know it, to have become or be or is. Forgive me if I could possibly be butchering the English language of the American dialect once again for the umpteenth time. Well, hopefully that much less than more. So I wish to apologize. Insane. Yes. Sorry to one and all. Other than that, the important thing to possibly consider is that I am doing that of a broadcast of social media for that bit of my own channel and likewise chat on the comment section. And if any of you all could possibly become or be the likes of any internet trolls, then please don't come in here with all that other. If you feel that you have to attempt to become or be obnoxious, then you can take a hike, you know, and because I'm not having it. If you want to attempt to remind me of one of these here creepy, but not necessarily, equal as well, so much more crazy and or stupid for that matter. Like this one particular neighbor from the damn hell I have, who is a real sicko, as far as I'm concerned, or psycho, however anyone wants to put it. Making like from the Midnight Cowboy to the spook that sits by the door, you know. Then it takes all kinds to make a world and hopefully is not trespass my premises, properties, or place of residence at any given moment in time. If I were to have gone from my place to try to take care of some business elsewhere for my own personal survival, or especially if I am within that being of an atmosphere as I have it here for my own domain, almost what you make of it, and where I pay annual monthly rent and etc. for. You know, and I'll go back to what I was saying. It takes all kinds to make a world. And whereas that my person had my itchy 911 emergency dialing telephone finger, you know, just in case push comes to shove, as we have a whole lot more crazies or crackpots in the world. Well, neighbors from hell are kind of crazy, if not as much as they are creepy. You know, being among the dime a dozen public nuisances of problem neighbors, many of whom not only violate their apartment rental leases, but do so at the same time that they attempt to violate other neighbors' civil and on human rights. It just get me thinking about a most recent news headline story, being on which I had viewed and listened to, was some kind sort or type of a crackpot or nutcase had decided that he wanted to attempt to bomb, you know, a number of Jewish synagogues as well as Islamic Muslim mosques. Yeah, seriously though. This is the world we're living in nowadays, when it comes to the likes of that can't even so or equal as well. Do I mean to say? No. Especially when it be of the likes of those to be possibly considered characters. But fortunately, whoever got wind of this character's plot to become like a master blaster, blowing up quite a bit of, or as one would wish to attempt to blow up quite a bit of real estate, premises and properties, be it public or private, being of the same, the said in question, the former periods of prior mentioned, and then have reported it to the local law enforcement community of police officers and our detectives and SWAT team and bomb explosive department or division and on etc., including the fire department and medical paramedics with their own equipment and or transportation automobiles or motor vehicles, just in case something really hair raising could possibly happen, and to likewise have one and many more than quite a few have goose pimples form across their arms. West that would have been quite a scare, you know, like a rodent running up somebody's back or a snake. Get out, get out. And third world country, for that matter, let it be said and stated for that the record. Anyway, though, moving right along and to get back with some and such that is closer to home, what they thought. And whereas this one particular proverbial neighbor from damn hell, he makes me feel like, like say, or how you say, at times more than other times. Till I were to go to the God of my own understanding. And President Donald Trump, or former or ex twice acquitted, though twice impeached, former ex president of the USA, that wasn't right what you had done or did to be making fun of the handicap in any regard. That's including the mentally challenged as well as the physically disabled. You know, that's not right, man. How would you like it if somebody were to make fun of you if you were to be of a condition? Then what I'm talking about, he is kind of no, well, we who are the crazies otherwise of the mentally challenged, we don't like to be called retarded. You know, I mean, we could care less for your insensitive rantings and ravings that could possibly be partially the reason why it's not likely you yourself will win the 2024 political election, especially with that insurrection attempt or inciting an insurrection on January 6th. You know, that was kind of crazy when saying, don't you think? What were you thinking? Yeah, that was a really quite no, I don't want to say mentally challenged thing to do then, because that goes way beyond that. Mentally challenged is the appropriate word to call people or persons of, I say, how you say, how should I put it? My caliber, you know. But then I suffer from manic depression, and I don't need some kind sort or type of a crackpot or crank or nutcase, especially if one is of the likes of the proverbial neighbor from down hell, or one of the dime a dozen problem nuisances of problem neighbors, attempting to feel this attempting to feel this rather desperate, sickening need to attempt to make my life even more of a living damn hell, in one's rather twisted, warped, wicked mindset, in assuming that he himself has a legit personal vendetta, a legit grudge match with that of my person, and then attempt to make me feel even more mentally challenged. I always wonder why they do that, and speaking upon some and such other, when persons want to make, you know, or put greater emphasis of a line of thought in an essential word, whereas they make with the hand gestures of a nation. Like, so, what does this mean? Anybody? If anybody could explain this to me, I'd appreciate it. No. Does it mean that somebody could possibly be playing the part of the devil's advocate or what when they go like this here? Is this supposed to mean, you know, something from an angelic perspective or from a demonic perspective, with the two fingers, the index and the middle finger, stuck up in the air of a physical hand gesture with it being both hands, the index fingers and the middle fingers, or to complement that of another, like they're saying, angel or demon. I don't know. Anyway, though, getting back to some or such other. And before I were to step out of my place of residence, of an apartment where I pay annual monthly rent, etc., for at a given address location, and so that I can get a breath of fresh air, than for Mr. Creepy more than Mr. Crazy to be creeping around. Fangs, claws, and all on the prowl, creeping and crawling, scoping, stalking, and attempt to get about preying on somebody else. And I do suspect that this one, particular proverbial neighbor from damn hell character among the dime a dozen problem neighbors be moonlighting as some some kind sort or type of another or other of another character or other characters, like say for example, an internet troll and a crank caller, not to mention stalker, and hopefully he himself is not, some kind of sort of type of a closet sexual predator, animal monster, rapist, or worse yet, pedophile, and of the gay persuasion like a Catholic priest, scoping, stalking, and preying upon a vampire, or preying upon, much rather than to think of it with my intention to get the preying with, many different races of underage male minors, of adolescent or teenage and or preteen boys, to force foreplay and sexual intercourse upon, being of which would be socially unacceptable and criminally illegal. Then there are more Catholic priests raping or molesting boys than there are Catholic nuns doing that of the same. And so much for that conversation. So I'm back here at my pad. I woke up late. I woke up in pain too. Not so much as mental pain compared to physical. And I'm like, what? What the damn hell? Ooh. Oh, excuse my language, pardon my friend. I'm like, oh my God. Jesus Christ, help me. Or as I am a believer in him. And I'm like, hopefully a neighbor from down hell character hasn't gone about, you know, one's diabolical plans to attempt to make my life a living down hell once again, and could have sabotaged, you know, or attempted to sabotage my general physical health. And hopefully, no, not a doctor or nurse at two different hospitals I went to had done that of the same. Man, cause maybe I've been feeling this. I would wake up the next morning feeling in quite a bit of physical pain, you know, and then at times come nighttime, like, you know, I'm having quite a go of it, trying to get my Z's, get some sleep. Then up to that time, bedtime, then which I have scheduled for 11 p.m., regardless of how a neighbor from down hell character could possibly attempt to throw a monkey wrench in. And those, or those plan, that plan, program, likewise as well, all the same. Whereas I would be feeling like I'm having quite a bit of a headache, be feeling dizzy and so forth, like I'm about to pass out or something. I'm like, what in the world? And as I suspect that it could possibly have something to do with this one neighbor, as well as a doctor or nurse at two different hospitals that I had paid a visit to, you know, though not that most recent, but it wasn't that long ago either. So I'm like, what the? On the wake up the next morning, I've been waking up like a few consecutive days in a row for the morning time with me feeling in physical pain. And in addition to that, of my sinuses bother me and pretty much so sore throat. You know, I'm like, what's going on? Eh, But then I'm gonna have to get me some more probiotics soon enough. You know, and vitamins and mineral pills, in addition to much stronger pain relievers, and as well as decongestion. You know, because nobody likes to feel quite up under the weather. Then I would do some home remedies as well as take from over-the-counter drugs to prescription meds. Yeah. So I just thought to kick it with y'all, as they say, or holler at you, or a person being of whom is, you know, I like to put it like this instead, partially, not entirely or completely mentally challenged. I suffer from the medical diagnosis of manic depression. Okay, and something in which had happened in my life that had proved to become be a life crisis most recently was the death of my own mother or mom that had most recently passed away, and with my grandma had passed away a couple of few years before my mom, if I'm not mistaken, if it was not a year before she herself, at least for a time frame period from a year to a couple few years ago before my mom. You know, I mean, the devil is really busy nowadays more than ever before, and as I suspect that foul play was orchestrated, initiated, and perpetrated against both of those two maternal heads or matriarchs for my own immediate personal family household, and not coming just from the likes of, you know, medical personnel at different hospital locations, addresses, be some of such public or private, but then come from nursing homes, and last but not least, my only surviving blood relative, if you look at it from the point of view of the masculine gender, being another male of a brother, and then this female otherwise, who is also of my own immediate personal family household, being of my sister, you know, and where she herself is supposed to have had the power of attorney over our mom, and whereas I was trying to get her to transfer the power of attorney from her to me, seeing how either of us two brothers from our own immediate personal family household are much closer to our mom than my sister, who is out of state, possibly likewise out of mind for that matter. Then both my brother and my sister act like they are card carrying members to a religious cult. But anyway, she had the power of attorney over our mom, where she's in a different state of the union, you know, somewhere down south compared to me and this brother of mine being much closer to our mom in the same state up north here for the Midwestern USA. And she had continued to deny me the rights and privileges to become the primary caretaker of our mom during her last years upon the planet Earth or in this world. And that just made me really infuriated, angry, or mad, you know, that this one sister of mine be so. ornery, you know, so unsympathetic or, or non-empathetic or whatever I would say. Anyway, though, I'm about to close shortly, y'all. So far, this social media broadcast, and then I'm going to step out and maybe pay a visit to a local Vicente area neighborhood community library or maybe a bookstore or a museum. That all depends. They have a free day, which I can scrounge up a little money to pay for a ticket or a music concert. Disregard any interruption you may hear in the background, not making reference to any television or radio broadcasts or electronic frequency transmission, but rather any proverbial neighbors from hell or public news problem neighbors. Anyway, though, I'm going to step out shortly. Give me a breath of fresh air before I have to return to this here hellhole. Well, for what this one neighbor from down hell could possibly make it out to become or be, and likewise, depending on how much I myself could possibly let him get to me or attempt to step upon my toes or rub me the wrong way, God forbid. Then home is what you make of it. Yeah. And he's not the center of my universe. That area is reserved for the God of my own understanding, regardless of how misery loves company, you know. And as these are the times we're living in, so many more idiots and or sickos attempting to make others' lives a living damn hell, or being as they are that much more creeps than idiots and sickos. So they can't be all that you know what you call ignorant and or insane or stupid and sick if they know not to let another neighbor catch the likes of them bothering with still another neighbor's apartment door or door to one's house or home, depending on what kind of, you know, real estate premises and properties one would be considered as being associated with. You know, then some do own their own houses and homes. I get to look into that. Some up under the rent to buy option. Where you could pay money to a landlord or to management of real estate premises, probably be a public or private facility. And then, according to the agreed upon amount of time, eventually after you make so many payments in terms of rent, you could reach that the closure amount agreed upon, whereas the transfer premises of properties, real estate, be it public or private, would be transferred from the owner or landlord or management to the resident or tenant. The transfer documented paperwork of ownership. I got to look into that. You know, yeah. On this last note of interest, then I would like to say, as I would usually give that the intro as an introduction to any social media broadcast, video, or whatever I said, and then I would speak upon a subject matter or topic of discussion to be debated or that of given argument from many different views and opinions to be associated with and representing thereof, regardless of whether I were to speak upon one or a few or four more, that might depend on how I would feel. And last but not least, I would give a conclusion or draw things to a conclusion or to conclude some such matter by saying, so I paraphrase it not for exact. If you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins by recognizing or realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross. Calvary on the go to suffering at the hands of some set of Romans, so up on orders of their superiors, religious Pharisees, and Sadducees, centurions, Caesars, etc. But then now that's where he went to that cross of Calvary, become a perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me, so that any of us, being whatsoever race and whatever walks like that's the other side of life, our preferences. Been the old, young, like both two sexes, the male and female represent not only the human species, but the global community within this post 911 era of a new millennium apocalyptic day and age where the doomsday clock is now at a couple few minutes to midnight compared on our former previous prior to it was a quarter midnight, but he rather biblically profess that word to profess some such faith in him, and then we will be blessed with the kingdom of heaven. Don't have to worry about going to hell. Take care.